Unit 12 is all about sequences, and there's two main types of sequences. There's explicit and recursive, and within each of those, we're going to talk about arithmetic sequences, kind of looks like the word arithmetic, and then geometric sequences. And so the principle of them is pretty simple. So 12.1 is an easy lesson that says common ratio or difference. Well, arithmetic sequences are going to always have a common difference. And to find that common difference, they use the letter D. That is just found by taking the second term minus the first term. But all you're going to be able to do is look at it and tell. It says find the common difference of the arithmetic sequence. You're asking yourself 19 plus what got you 27? That would be plus 8. And 27 plus 8 got you to 35. So it's just what are you adding or subtracting to each term to get the next term. But if you get something that you're not sure, what it's saying that you could do is take one of the terms like 27 and actually subtract the term before it, and that'll tell us that that difference is 8. But all we need is that number. Okay, number 2, we are going from negative 18 to negative 13. We're actually getting bigger because we're getting closer and closer to 0 or out of the hole. And so it looks like we would be adding 5. Just always double check to make sure it works again. Negative 13 plus 5 would make negative 8. But again, if you weren't sure, you could take a term like negative 8 and subtract the number before it, which is also a negative. Can't subtract a negative, you would turn into plus a positive. 13 minus 8 is 5. So that's our common difference. And I should talk about these. When you see a sub something or a number down here, it's called a subscript. Think of submarine, it's down below. That means it's the second term in the sequence. A sub 1 is the first term. This would be called a sub 3, just so you're aware of what that means. Okay, let's talk about a geometric sequence. Geometrics, think of geometry. It's really, they're going to be exponential functions when we talk about them later, but they always have a common ratio. So instead of a common difference, it's a common ratio. They use the lowercase r, and that's found by dividing one term by its previous term, so say the second term by the first term. Division and multiplication goes together, so you're also going to be able to look at this and say, okay, negative 11 times what gets negative 44? Well, negative 11 times 4 would make negative 44. And negative 44 times 4 gets negative 176. So you're going to be multiplying or dividing by a common number. So that's why it's a ratio. If you weren't sure what that ratio was, you could take negative 44 divided by its previous term and the term before it, and that will get that ratio for you. Okay, number 4. Again, we look like we're multiplying by something because the difference from negative 18 to 54 is not the same from 54 to negative 162. And so that's how you know. Let's say you didn't know what this would be. You take 54 divided by negative 18. And that gets you negative 3. And it is in fact a negative because I need to take a negative times a negative to get this to be positive. And then this positive 54 times another negative 3 to get negative 162. And you can see that. So when your signs go from positive, negative, you're multiplying actually by a common ratio of a negative to make it change signs. If you're staying all positive or negative, then the common ratio is just going to stay positive.